Shout out to everybody who came out today. Shout out to everybody who's joining Khaliis take here. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate everything. Your comments, your intake, your your take on the situation, your opinion means more than mine. Just want to let you know that. And I just want to say thank you. And if you're first time to the channel, please like, subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you can get the newest content first, and you'll be able to get the content that the bonus content I put out on weekends. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So, should the Clippers be worried that they possibly can lose the first round? Would anybody be shocked if they lost the first round against the Dallas Mavericks? I wouldn't say you should be shocked, but I wouldn't say that it should happen either. The Clippers should beat the Dallas Mavericks in the first round if that's who they're going to face. And it looks like that's who they're going to face. Especially since it can't be the Lakers now because of the position that they're in. So, or the Warriors, I believe. So, I personally think the Clippers myself can beat that team. I personally think they can beat the Dallas Mavericks just off of sheer talent. Um, with the Reggie Jacksons and the DeMarcus Cousins and Rondos, I think they can control that game enough where they can actually win it 4-1, 4-2. But at the same time, you are playing against a young phenom in Luka Doncic, who we saw last year in the playoffs against the same team, the Clippers, come up big in some moments where they needed them, even without Porzingis. And if you think that the Dallas Mavericks are going to lay down for you, they're not. They're trying to win the same way you are. And I'm not 100% sure if the Clippers, what was the whole thing about them throwing those two games? As I said in my last video, hopefully they're not scared of the Lakers, but man, uh, if that's so, if that's possible, if that's the truth, hypothetically, this is hypothetical. If it's the truth that you tried to avoid the Lakers in the first round, possibly, I hope that doesn't come back to haunt you because I think it can. And I said that in my video yesterday. If you didn't listen to my video from yesterday, please go ahead and check it out. Let me know what you think because I think things like that can come back and haunt a team just because they're trying to take the easy way out. My personal opinion, like I said yesterday in the video, go through the Lakers round one, round two, whenever, because you're going to have to face them at some point anyway. Get it out the way, knock them off if you feel like you're the better team. If you feel like you're the better team, go ahead and knock them off. Get them out the way and just coast through the rest of the playoffs until you get to the finals and have to play the Brooklyn Nets. Because that'll be your ultimate challenge right there as well if you get past the Lakers. So my thing is, that's just my opinion on that. But I leave that there because that was on my yesterday's video. But playing the Dallas Mavericks is not going to be easy. And if you think that it is, as a Clippers organization, Clippers fans, whatever, it's not going to be easy. Now, I hope that it is. I hope that what they did don't come back and haunt them. Because me personally, I think an easier matchup would have been the Portland Trailblazers. Because let's hypothetically say the Clippers kept the third seed. If you kept the third seed, it's no guarantee you would have faced the Lakers. It's possible that you might have faced Portland. At least at the time anyway. So, I mean, I just think that potentially that's an easier matchup myself. But like I said, they're superiorly confident they can beat the Dallas Mavericks pretty easily or, beat them. So that's good enough. But at the same time, you're playing a Dallas Mavericks team that will probably have Porzingis all 7 games if it goes that far this time. You're playing a Dallas Mavericks team where Luka is another year in the league where he's gotten better in some areas and, he's a little bit more seasoned than he was last year. And if he comes out there, if the Mavericks come out there and go 2-0 in this series, hypothetically, then what's going to happen then? And that's the problem with the Clippers. The biggest problem I see with them is, so far down the stretching games, the last 5, 6 minutes in the fourth quarter, they don't close well. And in the playoffs, you have to close games at a high level. You can't leave teams hanging around, you know, lingering around, 5, 8 point game. A team comes back on you, take a 2 point lead, and you can't figure out how to score the rest of the fourth quarter with like 3, 4 minutes to go in the game. You cannot have those type lapses. Now, hopefully Rondo can help them with those type things. Hopefully Rondo can be the one that can help secure the bag, so to say. But at the same time, you're asking a lot of a 35-year-old point guard when you have two superstar players on there, or at least one superstar in Kawhi and a star player in Paul George, who should be able to close games on their own. So my point is, I understand what's being said. I understand all that. I understand everything. I understand all the, Rondo talk and everything like that. But I would love to see how the Clippers will respond if they get down 0-1 or 0-2 in a series, or down 2-1 in a series or something like that. And I want to see how resilient they really are, because that'll really tell you who the Clippers really are going forward. And like I said, to me, I wouldn't be shocked if they lost to the Dallas Mavericks in the first round, because Dallas they're a pretty good team when Porzingis is healthy. When him and Doncic on the floor with Tim Hardaway Jr., the way he's shooting this year, which is a little bit, or maybe about the same, maybe a little bit better than last year, but these last 3 weeks especially, he's been shooting really, really good from the 3-point line. Now, they did lose Seth Curry, but, at the same time, they do got JJ. So they got shooters, and they got deadly shooters. And Doncic is a handful, because his slow, instant replay type of game that he has, can't nobody stop him. He's just really unstoppable. And then you add Porzingis, a 7-footer out there knocking down threes and can play with his back to the basket. The Clippers could be in trouble in this series. But hopefully the Clippers defense, and hopefully, Kawhi and PG step up the way they did, or at least Kawhi stepped up the way he did last year and knock this team off. And then maybe they'll get a second round against the Suns, or, Utah or something like that. And maybe that'll work in their favor too. But as I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they lost this game. But I wouldn't be surprised if they lost this series. But I do believe they should win this series. And if they win this series, to me, they should win it 4-1, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion versus reality. We have to see exactly what happens, and going forward, exactly, what this team is made of. Now, I hope they're made of all the right stuff, because, I would like to see my boy Kawhi Leonard win another championship. I really discredited a lot of people last year who tried to, say Kawhi Leonard chokes and all this other type stuff, because Kawhi Leonard's not a choker. I'm just going to put that out there now. He's not a choker. He's won 2 championships in this league, and he's won a championship on a team, Toronto, where nobody picked him to go to the finals. And he's won championships at the highest level. His first championship, he beat the Miami Heat Big Three. And the second time, he did beat the Warriors. Now, they didn't have Kevin Durant like everybody runs around here talking about, but for 2 or 3 games, they did have Klay Thompson. So you tell me they got Klay Thompson for 2 or 3 games. That's Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, and Draymond Green. Wasn't that the team they had when they won a championship before they had Kevin Durant? Yes, it was. But the 2, 3 games they had Klay Thompson, they still couldn't secure it. They still couldn't win it. Or they still couldn't be up in this series where, it gave them the momentum. So I'm not really sold on any of that stuff. The man has proven himself in this league. And he's played at a high level for years. So my thing is, he's not a choker, but at the same time, the team that he's on, I can see how I can make people believe that of him, who've never really watched his game for years in San Antonio. And I think that's what mostly what it is. A lot of people who have opinions on Kawhi never really watched him in San Antonio that much because San Antonio is it's not a big market team. It's not a team that most people look at and they say, "Oh, this team is the team I want to watch on TV." So if you're judging them by off the last couple years, you might could say that, but even still, if you look at the Toronto series and what he did in that whole playoffs, the guy doesn't choke. The guy is big time, and that's just that. So, but as far as this first round, like I said, I expect them to go out there and dominate, but only time will tell. Like I said before, hey, please like, subscribe, leave any comments, but let me know what you think in the comment section about what I'm saying. If you agree, if you don't agree, I'm totally fine with that. Let's engage in the Cali Take community. Let's talk about it, and let's see what we got and where we're at, and let's just see what the Clippers do next time.